Hey everyone, in this lesson we're gonna learn about app navigation. Uh, Let me start presenter view. Okay, yeah, and we will cover multiple activities and intents. We will know what is app bar, navigation drawer, and the menus. We will learn about fragments and the navigation in an app. We will also add more custom behavior to the navigation, and we will see navigation UI. So the first part is multiple activities and the intents. So far we looked at Android apps that have a single screen that's implemented as a single activity. As you add more functionality to your app, it may make sense to separate the features into different screens within your app. One way to have different screens in your app is to implement them as individual activities that each have a specific purpose. And this can make your code easier to maintain and reuse. So here are some examples. The first one, for example, viewing the details of a single item. For example, if we have some shop app and there are multiple of items, when we click one of them, we can see it, right? And yeah, let's see our favorite instant weather application. Let me show my screen. Yeah, CPI. Couldn't find it. Okay, this is what. Oh. Okay, I think I need to enable my USB debugging one more time from developer options. It's enabled. It's enabled. It's interesting. Okay, wait, let me connect it directly without using a laptop. Okay, here we go. Works now. So this is our application, right? And all of these screens can be implemented using activities, but they are implemented using fragments now. But yeah, all of these one can be implemented using activities. Yeah, for example, when we click on this one, we can open another detail view, right? So where we can see details of weather in that day. But yeah, nowadays activities are used less, so we use fragments for that, and usually activities used to start an external activity or to define something called splash activity that we will cover later. Okay, so what is intent? Android uses a construction called intent to request an action from another component. For example, an intent can specify a request to transition to another activity. Although our discussion of intents will focus on navigating between activities, they can do much more. For example, an intent could contain data for the destination activity to use, such as details about an item to be displayed. Data can also be passed back to the source activity. Uh, yeah, intent usually has two pieces of information within it. So the first one is action to be performed, and another one is data to operate on. For example, a person's record in the contacts database, right? So this is a data, and action can be like action view, action edit, and so on. Yeah, it's, as I said, commonly used to specify a request to another activity. So intent has two types. The first one is explicit, another one is implicit intents. Explicit intents are the most strict and indicating a specific component that should handle the request. Explicit intents are commonly used when navigating between components within your app, and you know what the class name is. You can also use them to navigate to a known third-party app if you are absolutely sure what type of intent they can handle. Okay, let's move on and see examples, right? Um, so we have two implicit intent examples. First one is where the destination activity is contained within our app. So this activity exists in our app and we can open it. And the second intent navigates to the external app, but it knows the package name of that app, right? So that's why we can explicitly specify it. Uh, but to be safe, so there can be case that when user didn't install that external app, right? Let's say we want to like open Instagram, and if user haven't installed Instagram, we cannot open it, right? So this code is kind of check to know whether that app has been installed or not. So if it doesn't return no, it means that app is installed and we can safely start that like Instagram activity. Uh, more examples. I've attached links to resources in speaker notes, so you can. Okay, let's open it. Okay, this one. And this one, there are some examples of explicit intent and implicit intent, so on. And another one is implicit intent. So implicit intents do not specify an intended target, and instead they provide just enough information for the system to resolve which component should handle the intent. For components that your app doesn't own, this is a recommended type of intent. So if multiple apps can handle the intent, the system launches the default app and lets the user select one. Unlike explicit intents, implicit intents do not depend on a specific component being available. Um, so let's see some common examples. One. So one common example is an email intent. So let's imagine that you have several email applications like Yandex, Pochta, like Gmail, or I don't know, another email provider site, and you want to compose an email, uh, and you can just specify. Okay, let's see an implicit intent example. So here's an example of email intent. Okay, let me turn on the notifications. Not this time. Why? Yeah, okay. So this is our email example, and so let's put it down here. Yeah. So from fragment, we need to call it like require activity package manager. Yeah, here I'm just using our instant weather app, and yeah, I've just chosen this text and added click listener for that. And when I click on that, I am just calling send email method, which itself calls an explicit intent. So I launch it. Let's see. When we click on this one, it opens a Gmail app and it automatically inserts subject, which is subject, right? So this one. and it automatically inserts the starter text, which is this one. And yeah, and the same for email. So these all are optional, right? So we can just remove them, and all of these three will be like blank. And yeah, we need to call send to. So, for example, here some like documentation, and yeah, so we need to send to for no attachment, send for one attachment, and for multiple attachments, and so on. And here some extras, so you can like read them and do whatever you want, right? And another thing that you should to add is this code. So I've added it to Speaker Notes. So starting recent Android versions, you need to add this code to let Android know that you will request this type of intents, implicit intents from your app. So these are mandatory now. Okay, so yeah, let's try now just send intent, and let's remove. We will just share text now, right? Send or like share text. It's called share text. This is another example of implicit intent, which is used to share some text. For example, we have some text and we can share it. And okay, yeah. When we click on that, maybe we need to define its type, probably intent type equal to text plain. This is a type for text. Oh, sure. So we need to define its type while we sharing the text. So when we click on that, the system will launch several apps that handle the text intent. For example, we can share text to the Instagram or Slack or any app that could handle it, right? For example, we can share it to Telegram, right? And here we can choose our destination, like, and share it. So now text will be shared. Disable rotation. Yeah, that's all for implicit intents. Okay, so here you find the example of queries. So if you need read more, you can read this article about these queries, right? How to define them, what types of queries available. So, this is a recent change. So it happened starting Android 11, right? Before you don't need to specify it. You didn't need to specify it, and now seems you need to specify it. So yeah.